my cold ring tiny twist pretzel.
What's up, everybody? I think we're live. CantinaMX Podcast, episode 182. What's up, Bob? How's it going?
Cubole Chiquis, right here enjoying the Santos versus energy drink for the Conca champions. And just recently, crisis averted because New York was shocking the Santos Laguna. They were beating them 2-0, which had the Global at 2-2. And if they were to score one more goal, Santos were gonna be forced to score two more. But they just took the lead right now. So for the next 20 minutes, I guess they have 20 minutes left to try to, Conca champions.
Yeah, so the big news, I guess. In addition to these games that are coming up for actually CopaMX, Pumas is playing as well. They're up against Maradona and his team. Actually, they're up 2-0 now on autogol from Maradona's team. In the CopaMX, we also have some exciting CopaMX tomorrow. Some Tigres plays later on. And,
That's right.
And we got the national team call-up.
Yes, Tata released his very first call-up. The big omission, of course, has been Carlitos Vela, Charles Candle, and there's already the speculation, of course, if he's gonna be a part of the new proceso. We did see that when Tata was in Los Angeles promoting the Mole Tour, that he met up with Carlos and they had a coffee and a talk. So who knows, man? He might just be. The season just started, for in MLS, so for LAFC. So he might just be letting them, I guess, get in top shape. Because he also left out Marquitos Fabian. So who knows? Who knows? That's my best guess, I would say. Since the season just started for them, that and Santos just scored their second. They tied the match 2-2 and Global 4-2. That was a nice goal, man. Santos was like the first half like they were asleep, and then they remembered that, is this a real game? So they've been playing pretty good. But back to la selección. Wait, did you see the manager for Energy FC? He looks disappointed, man. It's like he almost did it for 45 minutes. He thought, the big upset, and it's like, no, not today.
That dude got nutmegged, that defender.
Ouch. Where was I? Chiquis? I forgot, man.
The MLS call-ups.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah, the MLS season. Yeah, MLS season just started. It's only been 2 games. Vela, of course, has been on fire. In his last match, he had like 2 or 3 assists and a goal. Fabian, the opposite. Fabian started his season with where is he at the Union? He scored a goal off a penalty in his debut game. In his second match, he missed the penalty and then he got red carded. But at least he's playing because he had been injured, so at least he's playing. But yeah, that's just that could be one of the reasons. Just that these players are just getting warmed up.
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so? You
No.
think that?
I think Tata. I think I might have to praise Tata for this decision.
Oh, Chiquis.
I think he realizes, okay, there hay niveles. Fabian goes to
Ouch.
these are companions. Where was Fabian? He was in Germany with another guy by the name of Carlos Salcedo.
Yeah.
Fabian goes to MLS. Salcedo gets kicked back to Mexico in Liga MX.
No. Well, but see, Salcedo wanted to return.
Okay.
It wasn't
And
so
Fabian
much
didn't.
that that he couldn't find a team, which that was Fabian's case. Fabian couldn't find a team in Europe, and it looked like he was gonna get frozen out. They had even taken away his number 10. You know,
Well, they
they
both
gave
come
him
back.
like number.
They both get rejected from Europe.
They
Salcedo
both,
comes. Is on,
Salcedo did not get rejected, man.
Salcedo.
He chose to return.
Well, that's what
He
I'm saying. He got rejected because he chose to return. Like no one's gonna. Are you gonna go to Europe and like say
no,
Cristiano Ronaldo is
but
gonna go to?
rejected is like what happened to
Or you got
Fabian,
okay. You got spit out.
where
You got spit out.
but no, no, man. He he uh he had family problems and he wanted to.
Oh shoot! Another goal.
Oh god dang! Oh god dang! Santos. Yeah, this is like when you're like wrestling with your little brother and you're just letting him win, and then you like you, you're not letting him win, but you're letting him, like think that he has a chance, and then you just body slam him. Yeah, Santos just woke up, man. This could turn ugly, chickies. This could turn
Finally,
ugly.
80th minutes. You got 10 more minutes. Now they're not going to care, man. They after you score that much, you win the game. They're gonna pull back a little bit now.
I don't know, man. I mean, if you're FC Energy drink, you're gonna want to. I mean, they do. They just need one more goal. So I think they gotta go all out, but they just look thoroughly outclassed right now. No, hay niveles. You said it, Chiquis. Hay niveles.
That's what I'm saying. Also, hay niveles
All right, but
between MLS and
I
Liga
don't want
MX.
to get caught up on this discussion of
No, wait,
who's
hold
a
up. Okay.
reject and who's not.
Well, no,
Um,
I'm getting to the point though. I'm getting to the point of the call up post. What was that?
oh goddamn, dude, goddamn. This is it. Yeah, I was telling you this could get brutal, and they just scored another goal. Man, this is turning in. Yeah, ouch.
Gee, man.
That was
Hold
a
on, like
really
what?
nice goal. They shot it from far. 4-2 now. Santos they just powered up, man. And this guy shot it from the halfway, from behind the media luna, man.
Okay.
The goalie was caught offside napping. Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah, that's humiliation.
I I would have liked to be at a bar, dude, right now, filled with Energy FC fans. You know,
I was trying to find a bar this whole
you were
time.
trying to find one,
I
but
couldn't
you're in
find a single
Vegas,
one.
Chiquis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, you're not likely to find fans. You want to go where there's fans, because not, you're just a guy where they're watching baseball and you're asking the bartender if he could put one of the TVs, if he could put salsa on one of the TVs. All the TVs have basketball or whatever.
Hey, so like I was saying, um, Carlos Salcedo got called up, which is an indication of what I was sort of talking about. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised of Vela not getting called up, even though he did really well. There was a thing Tom Marshall talked about saying that he heard or something about that Tata already knows how Carlos Vela plays and is familiar with his role in the team and didn't want to call him, which he didn't really agree fully with. But
Well, the other big omission was that, Chickies.
I got a
We're
phone
getting
call.
hacked again.
I got a phone call.
The other big name missing is is HH Hector Herrera, and it is said that he asked not to be called up because he's about to get his European Union passport. He's been living in Portugal for a long time now, and he's going to have Portuguese citizenship. So that's the big talk, that he's going to have a passport. And then I think it's the summer transfer window, he will be, I think, maybe playing I've seen Roma and I've seen Atletico de Madrid, so who knows, Serie A or La Liga, but it looks like he might finally leave the nest. So I would say those were the two big names missing from Tata's list.
Yeah, man. Hey, continue. I got to take a call real quick, but continue discussing. I'll be right back.
Man, abandoned again.
Abandoned solo.
God damn it.
Hopefully someone else.
All right, I got this.
All right.
I'll do a quick. I'm gonna do a quick recap of Liga MX match week 10 and how that's shaping up, and then hopefully Yon or Chiquis will come back and we continue with Mi Selección. So the results for this past week, Clausura, the Clausura 2019 season, Jornada 10. It's Veracruz tie with Santos Laguna 2-2. And this was at El Puerto Jarocho. No, ese Puerto. And then Atlas losing again, this time to Cruz Azul. People saying that it was a bit of a lifeline for Caixinha, who seems to be on the cuerda floja. And then we had Pachuca with a big 4-0 win over Cholos. And so this is one match we were looking forward to, just because both teams seem quite evenly matched. And so it's tough loss, I'll say, for Cholos, and should be a bit of a boost for the Tuzos. America bounced back with a 1-0 win. They haven't been looking as strong as they should, but we've seen it before with teams that reach the final. They always seem to struggle the following season. The stat is that 60% of the time, teams that reach the final fail to qualify to the following liguilla. So and we've been seeing that with both Cruz Azul and America, who have been struggling this season. But I say the quality is still there, and they both are gonna put up a big fight. And then we had the Clásico Norteño, which ended in a 1-1 draw. That was at the Estadio Vancomer. And then another draw between Necaxa and the Diablos Rojos of Toluca. And this was the first match for La Volpe as his return to football. He returned to Toluca, where he had coached before taking over the selección. So El Bigotón, you say, I could say it was a good result, given that they played away to Necaxa, and Necaxa has been a pretty feisty team. They've been pulling some surprise results here and there. And then Chivas and Querétaro, scoreless draw. A bit disappointing for Chivas, they've been losing their edge. They were at fourth. They were at fourth place once. Now they're at eighth, which could easily be next jornada. They could be on the outside looking in as far as Liguilla's prospects are concerned. And then Pumas tied with Morelia 2-2. And then finally León, they're the new league leaders, and they beat Lobos Buap, away match. And León's been impressive, being coached by Nacho Ambriz, and this was their 7th straight win of the season. So that's lucky 7, took him all up to first place. So I'll read the tabla right now. León, first place with 23 points, which they're tied with Tigres, but they have a better goal differential, which they have a plus 17 um, and to Tigres 11, and then Monterrey at third with 14, and Monterrey has 22 points. So those three have pretty much separated themselves from the pack. Um, and then in fourth, you have Pachuca. Finally, we were talking about how it was a big win. That 4-0 took him to a +1 goal differential. And then America, they're in fifth now with +3 goals. They're at 16 points. So Pachuca in fourth with 17, America with 16, and Tijuana as well at 16 points each. And then seventh place you have Necaxa with 15, and in eighth Chivas with 15 points as well. Which they're in eighth, and 12th place Lobos Buap. They have 13 points. So I mean they could easily overtake one of those teams. So even Lobos, despite their defeat, uh, they're still in the fight as well. So I'll just continue. Santos is in ninth with 15. It's a four-way draw with 15 points from seventh all the way to 10th. So seventh Necaxa, Chivas in eighth, Santos in ninth, Cruz Azul in 10, and then we have Puebla, man, with, who are 13 points. So even them, because 13, one win, they're at 16, which, that's sixth place is Cholos with 16 points. And Cholos has a -1 goal differential. So it's a pretty tight race. Uh, well, except that Lobos Buap have -5. So yeah, there's that bit of a cushion there. Uh,
You gone over the table?
yeah, I'm about finished, man.
Okay, cool.
Te la perdiste, yeah, te la perdiste, chiquis. Um,
Hey,
and then, so 13th place Toluca, 14th place Pumas, in 15th is Chaflas, 16th Monarcas Morelia, Veracruz in 17th, and then dead last is Querétaro FC, and that's the tabla right now. So next week is gonna be pretty hot. We're already match week 10, so there's 7 games left in the season, and yeah, it should get intense. Just how just because there's not that many points separating a lot of the teams, and some of the movements made recently with coaching. We talked about Bigoton going to Toluca, which was just pretty. It was a disaster, and they have a decent squad. So and then Bigoton is he knows his way around the league. So that's going to be a team that's going to start just being more difficult, as well as Gallos Blancos, who had like what was it like seven straight seven straight defeats before Vucetich came in, and now under Vuce they're beginning to, well, they haven't lost. They already managed 4 points in their last 2 games. So some of these teams, because yeah, we did see it's been 7 teams that have changed coaches. But I'll say those are two of the main ones. Atlas also changed coach. They have Leonardo, or is it Leandro Cufre? I don't think it matters. Atlas is still gonna suck. Um, just because they like that squad, they're just like one or two lesiones away from just hitting hitting a critical point. Orange alert. So, Chiquis, hello.
yeah, yeah.
You left again, way. Um,
Uh,
yeah, you have the list. Or I have the list too. You want to go over the call-up? Tata's first convocatoria for the games against Chile, which is going to be in San Diego, March 22nd, and then against Paraguay uh, in Santa Clara, California, on the 26th. 4 days later, man. And hopefully, Profe Cambiarrayas and and me will be attending the game at the San Diego game. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
what happened?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
To go to the game. Yeah, I like the lineup. I think it was pretty good. There are some complaints that I saw on Twitter, but I think they were just joking around and stuff. But it sort of would have been nice to. I mean, I don't really care. Like, I have no problem with Vela. It's sort of. I mean, I think Vela deserves, but it's just one game. They're just barely
Two
starting.
games.
Like you said,
two games.
or 2 games. Yeah, it's just two
Yeah.
games. So that they've have in MLS so far. So I don't have a problem. And this is just a Molero. I mean, these are just friendlies and stuff. But it's good to get a post World Cup action going. You want to go over the one by one, the list of?
Yeah. Well, let's start with the goalkeepers.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I don't have a list that has him like. That,
Orozco. I saw Pern was really excited about Jonathan Orozco.
Okay, Jonathan Orozco. He said.
He's a former
Rayados.
Rayado. He's Santos though. He's Santos.
Oh, that's right. He was playing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have Orozco, and you have from Chivas, Coutinho, young keeper there, and then even younger, we have the Veracruz keeper who we were, we've been praising
that
lately.
Guy's in the U20 in the U22 though. We have Ochoa.
Wait, he didn't get called up. Oh, that's right.
He didn't get called up.
I'm mixing my list, chiquis.
Your ages.
God dang.
Yeah, so he's in the U22, which that's an interesting list. Also, that's going to be a good.
Well, I think him and Macias are the two big names, but let's stay with You just read the list, man, because mine's is pretty jacked up.
We have
I got a pirata list. Wait, stay with the keepers. So Orozco, Coutinho,
Ochoa.
And yeah, Ochoa. Well, we haven't heard much of Ochoa. It's like people gave up. Every transfer window, every rumor, and now it's like, and no one's talking about him anymore.
Yeah, he's a lock though.
No, but with Selección, Ochoa is Ochoa could be playing cascaritas, man. He could be playing backyard football, and I'll still call him up to the Selección. He's just one of those players, man, that once he puts on the verde, man, or in this case the black, he always delivers. He's a mailman. He always delivers. So okay, it decent. I don't think you could ask for better.
Yeah, those are good. And then so on the defense, I guess there are some complaints we can have on the defense. We have Nestor Araujo, Miguel Layun, Cesar Montes, Hector.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, Diego Reyes, Carlos Salcedo.
Diego Reyes is the surprise to me because he's just been very inconsistent, and I don't know how he keeps finding himself in the selección, man.
Yeah, some people don't like Moreno anymore.
Oh, he's been quite injury prone.
Yeah, we got these young guys, these machos coming up, man. We got Salcedo, we got Montes.
Well, Salcedo and Montes, they played together in the what was it, the last Olympics? And they look good.
Alvarez is monstrous on the defense. Araujo. We got Leon, who was kicked back from he was spit out from Europe. Also.
Oh, he decided to return, Kiki.
Layun decided to return because he couldn't.
Money. No, man, he got a good payday, man.
Well, that's okay. Not to deviate, but Cristiano Ronaldo, when is he going to return to MLS? Or that like the top players, the quality players, they go and they make money in Europe. They tell the European teams to pay them money so they don't ever have to come back. That's sort of my point. But anyway, Layun, wasn't worth it as much, so he came back where he could make more money, which is what you said. So did Salcedo. Jorge Sanchez, do you? I don't know much about this dude.
Yeah, me neither. I never heard of him.
So he was called up. He's an Americanista.
Oh,
And Dos Santos as well. Jesus Gallardo. He's been pretty well, and I don't know if he's looking at the Gallardo, Pizarro, and Monterrey have. I think they've been playing okay. Gallardo seems to stand out a little bit more from what I've seen, and then Andres Guardado, like the sort of the old timer guy coming in there.
and Gallo, did you mention Gallo? Because he was completely erased by JCO for being too short, man.
Oh, and Luis Montes.
Yeah, well, that's the big team up right there because they were both at Leon and they had an excellent partnership. It was and along with Gullit, those three guys they were phenomenal for a while. And then Gullit sort of took to the bottle and just disappeared. I think he's in second division Poland or something. And then Montes, he's still at Leon. He's part of the big resurgence now. Um, and then Gallo went to Chivas where he won a league title, and then to Santos where he won another league title. So he's always been a beast. So I don't call him Gallito, I call him Don Gallo.
Okay.
Why? Because Gallito's like what you call a little kid, man. It's like, do you remember those cartoons that the Foghorn Leghorn? And you had like that little chicken hawk. Just trying to act all tough.
Yeah.
And so that when they say Gallito, that's what comes in mind. But Gallo's proven, man. Proved himself at the World Cup. 3 league titles with 3 different teams. He's Don Gallo, man. He's grown.
Yes,
we show him respect.
Yeah, so that's true. So both on there. Another dupla is Eric Gutierrez and Chucky. But Chucky's
that's right.
Still on midfielders though. We got Victor Guzman, Pachuca as well. Lainez, the youngster. Carlos Rodriguez from Monterrey. And Alvarado. That dude's been like going downhill in my opinion. From Cruz Azul. Maybe along with Cruz Azul.
He's just having a hard time.
Chaka Rodriguez as well.
And Chaka. Well, Lainez obviously is going to be the main attraction going in, even though, well, I think between him, is Jimenez called up? Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Or J9. So I think, Jimenez and Lainez are going to take the spotlight. I'll say Jimenez right now, just because he's been phenomenal right now. He's just been his form with Wolves, and he's set to become the highest transfer for any Mexican ever. Something like 41 million or something like that, which the Wolves is set to open up the coin purse and buy him. So
he's been lighting it up.
Yeah, man, with him lighting it up and then Lainez, people seem to have forgotten about Chucky, man. All of a sudden, Chucky's kind of getting erased right there, man. He had like an injury, and then it's like he's falling out of favor, and he's no longer a starter.
Well, Gutierrez hasn't. he faded off earlier than Chucky has. But I think part because Raul is in the EPL, which is a little bit more uncommon
Hay niveles.
for a Mexican. Yeah, not that Wolves are like a top EPL team or anything, but still PSV. You know, PSV Mexicans know PSV. They've been at PSV. Chicharito and Corona have been quiet. They've been called up also, as well. And then finally we have some Chivas, Pizarro, Monterrey, and then Alexis Vega to round it off. Finally, a Chivas in the call up,
Yes.
as well as Isaac Brizuela, who is those are the two. Those are the two.
Finally, the Chivas.
But Chivas had to pay for him, though, I guess.
They had to pay to have a seleccionado.
Yeah, to have a seleccionado because Vega was doing good and wanted and everyone wanted him called up when he was lighting it up with who was he with before?
Who?
He was with
Alexis Vela?
Yeah, Alexis Vega.
Vega. I mean Vega. He was with Toluca.
Yeah, Toluca. When he was lighting it up with Toluca, people wanted him called up, but now that he's with Chivas, he finally gets time played its role for him to get his chance.
Tigres game against Dynamo is about to start.
Oh, shoot.
And looking by the attendance, the Tigre fans taking it hella serious, Chiquis. They showed up in full force.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was 2 for 1 or half off, but it's these guys, man.
That's just Tigres fans, man. That's Monterrey.
They always go.
They have a different type of loyalty to their team, even when they suck.
They're doing the lighter or the phones or whatever, and the stadium looks pretty lit.
What channel are you watching this on? Did you switch channels?
Of course I did, man. I'm on Univision.
Okay.
Do you have it in where you're staying at?
I think I do.
This is HD, man. But I got an old TV, so it doesn't pick up HD, dude. It's grainy.
It's grainy on the CRT. It's got bunny ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this game should be exciting for Tigres, but yeah, I mean, I like the call up. I think Trophies. A lot of people complain that Trophies wasn't called.
Trophies? What? What the hell? Why are you bringing up Trophies? Are you trying to summon Yon?
I was being like I was being. It was our man Rigo. He said he Trophies came. He's injured, I think.
Wait, why isn't Rigo here, man? Persico's missing.
I invited him. I've invited everyone this time.
I know, and he's been boycotting us.
Yeah.
I think it was the Almeida hate. I think kept him out.
But Almeida got some good burns on
Hugo.
On the goat, Hugo.
I saw it. That was pretty savage, man. that was a pretty savage. Hugo was asking him something about if his representative is having trying to bring him back to Mexican football.
Promoter.
And he's yeah, and he told him about Real Madrid. He brought up the Real Madrid. He threw the salt, man.
Yeah, he was salty. He didn't like it. Hugo was just having fun, man. He was smiling, and Matias was all like serious face, all grumpy looking.
Well, I think it was inappropriate to ask him that because he just started. He only has 2 games, and you're asking him already about he's trying to come back. It just undermines what he's doing with MLS, with San Jose. It was sort of like if he's not taking that serious, which I know he is. So I mean, that's just one of those questions. It's almost like, was he trying to troll him?
Yeah. Wait a second, man. Shoot.
What's going on, Chiquis?
I might not have. Let me see.
Oh, you're looking for the game.
This TV is
Yeah.
like all slow, man. I'm going through I'm scrolling through the channels and stuff. All slow, like Chivas TV or something.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, he just did look pretty good. Um, what
So
else? There was a discussion about America. Well, the Monterrey team, since Tigres is playing.
Chiquis, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I was having a discussion since we're at a pause, sort of. I'm going to bring up a different topic.
Okay, what was that?
I was having a discussion with little, what's his name? It wasn't Ivan. It was little. That guy's name. We had him on our show.
Little hat trick?
Little hat trick. Yeah, he was saying that America's a big team. Sort of defending the idea. I forget who commented about the Monterrey teams just being being high quality in the Mexican League for the past few years.
Yeah, like the past 10 years, I'll say.
Yeah, and he sort of like didn't agree to the extent, but I think he was going back like all time history because in the past 10 years or even the past 7 years, I was telling him uh, Monterrey, even though Monterrey has only won one title in the past 7 years, so has America. And then he was bringing up like Copa MX titles and all this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
okay, don't
which
bring
were
up that.
from way back when.
Well, no, I think in the last 7 years, they may have America. Well, I think he was saying that they still won some Copa MX, but I was like, okay, let's leave Copa MX out of it. If we add up points for the whole last 7 years, which I think I saw a website, it might have been Liga MX that does that. Monterrey is just like I bet you Monterrey and Tigres are like way ahead, especially Tigres because they won.
No, America's still up there. They are up there in points. They are one of the top teams. They're
Well,
very consistent.
I'm sure they're up there, but I don't think they're as up there as Tigres and Monterrey. I think in all stats, Tigres and Monterrey are above like the America and Chivas in the past
Oh
7.
no, I think it was Cruz Azul and America they were batting it out, Chiquis. And we're missing our statisticians right now. The Yons
Oh,
and the Rons are not here, but I'm
okay. Let me.
pretty sure. But they should be up there, man. They should be up there at least top five, both of those teams.
Yeah.
They're not historic teams since some of them just, you know, compared to like America that's going, it's 90 something years or no, yeah, they're 100. I'm sorry, they're 100. They celebrated their centenario not too long ago. Um, so yeah, compared to that, they haven't been in the league as long. And a lot of these teams got restructured around the 90s, late 90s. So that it's they're fairly young. Because that's the one thing we forget, and we always say it here, how a lot of these teams have undergone changes in management, changes not in management, in ownership. Like Chivas got bought out in 2002, and so Chivas went from being a club with actual socios to being like a corporation, and then they're owned by Vergara, and so it's kind of the same with these teams that like when FEMSA and CEMEX came in and they took over those teams, so it's the,
Uh, oh, jeez.
I dropped my thing, Kiki. I dropped my mic. Yeah, since they came in, but But as far as Copa MX here, since it just got relaunched, it got relaunched in 2012, and America has not played it. They have not been in a final, I should say. Of course, they played it. They just have not been in a final, and it's not like a, it looks bad, but part of it is certain teams don't qualify if they end up too high in the league, in the their liguilla, because they have to play Conca Conca champions and whatnot. So that's been a big reason that America has, and it speaks for its consistency. So yeah, I don't know why Mr. Hattrick brought up Copa MX. They do have a lot of those cups, but they're from way back. They're
Yeah.
from way back since 2012. They've yet to play one, which is the big reason they're taking it serious. They're taking this match serious, and they're gonna play against Chivas. So this week is gonna be doble clásico because teams America Chivas playing each other for Copa MX, and then they're facing each other for the league. So that's gonna be exciting. Um, Piojo already Piojo already put some excuses about he has to line up juveniles, but
That was a
he's
while
playing
ago, though, right?
Chivas, man. He's playing Chivas, not like he's playing Monterrey, huh?
That was like a week, 2 weeks ago, though, right? Was that related
Yeah.
to Chivas?
No, well, because he was talking about how he has to play with youth because of the rule and all that. So he's sort of like saying his team is not as strong as he would like it to be.
Hmm. Well, they're like I looked at the stats. I think America's like the top team with most youth minutes.
Oh, for the
So
youth
they
minutes.
so they've yeah so they've I guess they're following they're sticklers to the rule. Where other
Okay,
teams like have very few minutes to, like, even on the let me bring it up. They have like good stats here on the Liga MX website. Oh shoot! Oh, tell me I can't find it. Yeah, I was looking at it last time during the podcast. During the podcast, they had like the requirement and how many teams are close to the requirement. And it looks like America's doing they're trying their best to fulfill the minutes for youth requirement. But of course, my website's also. Well, if it comes up, I'll bring it. Savage tweet by a New York Red Bull fan.
yeah. What do you say?
He said, "We live in a world where Howie Mandel is rich and famous and Bill Hicks is dead. Of course, some team with a-holes that yell homophobic chants would win this. Hashtag hashtag RBNY." So
Does
he's Russell the Tigres one or
he's
the
Brussels, man? They're still with that,
yeah,
They're still with that chant.
they're still hating on the chant. This is a New York team who apparently there's some
Yeah, and
complaints with
Energy FC.
Energy
They
FC.
are, yeah, they're owned by Red Bull.
Yeah, but
Red Bull.
apparently, or is it? It's not Energy
Eh,
FC. There's an NYFC, right? Or is it this
Yeah,
one?
well, it's because Red Bull is an energy drink. So Energy
No,
Drink FC, but it,
no, but
no,
isn't there another New York team?
yes. So we just call it like that in jest. So
Yeah.
Red Bull New York, and that used to be they used to be the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. So they got bought out by the energy drink. And then Chelsea, was it Chelsea? Pretty sure. No, not Chelsea. Man City. They have the same colors. I'm sorry. Manchester City. They they put the second franchise in New York, NYFC.
Okay,
So
so
those
I
are the
think
two
that's
teams. Yeah.
the one they've had some issues with apparent white supremacists in their stance.
Oh, yeah. They had some barra brava, man.
Some whatever they were.
Some old school hooligans. You know, it happened for a bit where because you saw this like mostly in the 80s and a bit of the 90s when you had this hooligan problem and and the ultras would meet before the game or after the game and just duke it out, some old
Yeah.
fashioned fisticuffs, and that was just some of the thing, that was like part of the whole culture of that. You had the hooligans. There's a pretty good movie called Green Street Hooligans. If you guys could find it, I recommend it. And it kind of, but that culture is not so much. It kind of got eradicated as they made football more expensive. They priced out the hooligans, man. No more cheap seats. But with the rise of a lot of fan groups in the U.S. and a lot of these guys grew up just like watching old videos or hearing about that, and they were trying to recreate some of that. But it's like it's not going to work in the U.S. All these teams are too far apart. Very few teams are close. So it's not, you don't get the same. It's not like you have 4 or 5 other teams close by that you travel and then you could just beef it up with them. So yeah, it's kind of dumb, but whatever, man. To each their own, chickies.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a Russell tweet on their New York Red Bulls.
Are you gonna point? You're gonna put a flag over there? Yeah, because they had like a flag, one of that New York fan group, and the flag was using some. They had this skull and crossbones that the like one of the Nazi, I think the SS or something from the Nazis would use, and they had that as like in one of the flags.
Yeah. Um, One other thing that I guess since we're on the topic, things are coming to mind of MLS and Conca Champions. You guys got close a little bit, but um, a former player for the U.S. national team made a comment about the MLS versus uh, League MX, talking about Taylor Twellman. He says in the last
Yeah,
5 years, MLS has grown to levels that many of us thought was 10 to 15 years down the road. I don't understand that. Like, in 5 years, did the MLS grow 10 to 15 years down the road? 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, people were saying MLS in 10 years was going to be greater than like Europe, and US was going to win the World Cup. And then it goes like, why does MLS struggle? Still remains. Well, 2019 to the year of a massive philosophical change. But he was talking about the MLS schedule, that they're barely starting they're 2 games into their schedule, while Liga MX is 10 games in,
yeah.
the running.
Well, Chicky, don't you listen to the podcast way? We, we talked about that here. We
But I
talked
don't see that as
about
an excuse, man. Or I don't see
well,
that as valid.
well. I mean, they do it to themselves because if the league wanted to, they could change the calendar and so that it could line up to some of these international tournaments. But they're trying to not compete with the other, like pointy ball and some of these other sports. But it's like, uh, to me, it's stupid because you're not gonna win over those fans. So who cares,
Well, I'm saying that if the roles were reversed, if Liga MX was in week 1 and MLS was in week 10, and Champions League or CONCACAF started, I think Liga MX teams would still beat them. There would be no
Well,
change.
yeah, well, cause that's the other thing that like MLS shoots itself in the foot because they have some rules like they have the rules with the how much you could spend, how much the teams could spend on salary. They have the wage cap, and so that means like Tigres, I think Tigres wages what they pay is like 3 times as much
Atlanta.
yeah, whatever team they're playing, and so that's always going to be a handicap. But I mean, again, they do it to themselves, and but the league does it for they have a reason behind it, and that's because they're still trying to establish themselves. Um, they're still trying to grow, so they can't go all out yet, and they would because most teams they just lose money. Very few teams are gonna turn a profit. But ¿qué pasó, Chiqui? Something's funny, man.
It's a Fight Club type of thing. I can't say it on the air.
Oh, Fight Club, damn.
It's related to Pichichi and Pichi.
Okay. No, but see that's with this league because things that we forget because this league when it started it was given the consensus was that it was going to fold within 10 years, and then it managed to survive, and then they were also in trouble folding, and then Chuck Blazer ended up helping them with TV contract. Like he used the World Cup to land MLS a TV contract. So I mean, the league has struggled, but at the same time they've been making inroads to try to like establish themselves. It's been an uphill battle for them, just because the league is just getting started, and it was not that old, 20 something years old. What is it, Chiquis? You're better at me than math. They started in '96. Um, so yeah, they still have a long way to go. But I mean, for the league that just started, and then football just became more available. You could turn on the TV, and you could follow the whole season of La Liga or EPL, any team, and then Champions League, and you have all those games available, and that just it hurts them as well because people see those games and then they compare it to MLS.
Okay. Yeah. Rigo might come on. I sent him an invite.
Yes, we could talk about he's our Chilla hermano, and he lives in New York. Maybe he could talk to us about Energy FC. And
yeah, he went to the game. He went to the first leg with
what is that? Are
Eugene.
you listening to metal or something?
Wait, somebody must have entered.
Like
Might have been
that
It's
sounds
me.
like
that's
Stone
Rigo.
Cold.
It was.
This is Stone Cold. This dude,
What's up, guys?
he's drinking both lights.
Drinking some Steve Weisers.
long time no see, Rigo.
I know. There's been a lot going on.
But there's doble clásico.
Yes,
so
I just
you were summoned.
I was just finished wrapping up with the Eagle Eye guys. They send their regards.
Oh yeah,
like the Lannisters. But yeah, we have doble clásico. That was a hell of a game by Santos and Red Bulls.
Are you still in New York?
Yeah, I'm in New York. I went to the first leg. I was covering it for FMF State of Mind, and I for sure did not think that Red Bulls were going to make a game out of it.
That's what I was saying, man. That's what I was wondering. Oh, I think I replied to you just now.
Yeah, I did.
I saw your preview. I saw your preview actually, and I know that one of the concerns was the cold.
Yeah.
Going up because it gets hot in La Comarca, and then it was, and I saw you were
bundled up.
Yeah.
It was freezing. It was freezing in New York. So I definitely thought that was going to affect them. But I know we were talking about it earlier with Beto. I do think that the lack of play for these MLS teams kind of creeps up on them, because I mean Red Bulls came out very flat against Santos in the first leg, and Santos came ready to play. They Gallito was out there with short sleeves practicing, and they came ready to play, and they won that first leg 2-0. And I thought, this is over. Santos hasn't lost, I think, since like 2017 or something like that in La Comarca, something ridiculous like that. Something ridiculous like that. I was like, I thought they were just going to walk right all over them. So to see Red Bulls come out and go up 2-0 for the first half, I was like, wow. This game is going to go to penalty kicks. But it seemed like after the first goal from Santos, they kind of they broke down. They didn't know what to do.
Santos remembered it was a real game. They thought they were scrimmaging.
And I feel like that's a good result for Santos, and it was a fun game to watch. And at least it wasn't like they ran all over them right from the beginning. They play a little bit of cat and mouse with them. They let them come into the game, and then at the end they stepped on their throats, which is what they should do.
I think we should just, like, the whole Taylor Twellman video of his excuses and all that stuff, or valid points, whatever. I think they should just all cancel out, because we could make the excuse, well, Mexico can't play in the cold, like from Columbus history, but they went up to New York and they did well. But then the second leg, it's not a history of like all these CONCACAF tournaments where Mexican teams just stomp all over them. I think in the past few years, Mexican teams make it close, and some have even lost. Like Toluca lost and got eliminated. Last year, Tigres got eliminated, and I forget who else. So last year, MLS did pretty well, and I think that happens every year, even though they're just barely starting their league. They're just barely. I don't find that as a valid excuse anymore.
But do you think that the Mexican teams lose from a lack of taking the tournament seriously? Because Tigres didn't take that match against Toronto serious until the second leg when they were down.
Yeah, I don't think they don't take this tournament seriously. I think they don't take MLS seriously. They think they're going to go and run them over.
Yeah, with a B squad, and it doesn't happen because MLS is taking it seriously. But I do think the lack of playing for these teams with the schedule definitely affects them. And I get it. You can't really change the schedule, because if you move the tournament like to start like in a couple of weeks, then it interferes with Liguilla for Mexico. And Mexico would never allow that. But I definitely think that the schedule, the MLS teams not playing.
Yeah, I think that, okay, I will say it does affect, but I don't think that's going to matter in the long run. One last point. One could say that the Liga MX teams are worrying about. They're in the middle of the Liga MX tournament, so they're worried about sending their top players for the weekend, and so they have to shuffle and see what players are going to send for these games. That could be a disadvantage or an excuse for Liga MX teams. And like I was telling Joel earlier, I think if roles were reversed and Liga MX were in week 1 and MLS were in week 10, I think Liga MX teams still, the results are still the same.
Possibly.
No, sigo yo, güey. No dejan hablar. God damn it. No, gotta elbow my way in there. No, for Liga MX teams, they make the most money off of Liguilla. So that's always going to be their priority. Just qualifying to Liguilla and all that is where they come up. And so we've seen it time and time again where they prioritize the league over other tournaments, which was a problem when they were competing in Libertadores. They would always teams would even send their B squads or under 23 players to Libertadores games. And so that's so I don't think it's the whole not taking uh, a league serious or anything. It's just that their priority is the home tournament. Of course, if the the role was reversed where they're making the most money off of this international competition, then I bet they would care more about where they're gonna get more money for being per match play and all that.
I mean, I do agree with you there, and so to a certain extent, because they are prioritizing La Liguilla, they're taking the Conca champions lightly, and I think in them taking it lightly is where you see uh, MLS take advantage and win a game.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, I think like the thing with Toluca, I think Toluca's just having a bad season, so I think that's just carrying over into the other tournaments they play in. But I think like last season or last Copa Conca Champions was more teams taking the MLS teams lightly, and as the tournament progressed and the MLS teams became more informed, particularly Toronto, it just it was a combination of both things. It was one team was getting better as the season progressed, and the MLS and the Mexican teams were taking the tournament lately.
hello.
I'm here.
Oh, I thought it sounded like the call dropped.
Was Beto still there?
I think he didn't pay his internet, man. But
Oh,
just going on taking it serious. To me, Tigres, I believe Tigres is taking it very serious. Just because they want to go play the club's World Cup
yeah.
and with Tuca, just because they came very close. They came very close with the Libertadores final, and then they haven't.
And they've never won this before.
Yeah, and just to win it, and with Tuca leaving in 2020, he's retiring, and then they have Gignac, who I think they want some type of international title right there, just to close that era.
I think these three teams, I think Monterrey, I think Santos, and I think Tigres are taking it. They're taking it serious. I mean, we saw what Monterrey went and did to Atlanta in Atlanta. In Atlanta, no, in Monterrey. So I definitely think they're taking it serious.
Yeah, it should be once these Mexican teams meet each other, it should be some intense games that we will be looking forward to.
Damn. But what do you think about these clásicos back to back?
Uh, for me, if I'm Chivas, I would throw the cup game. I know you're talking about going ham on both teams. I mean, on both matches, but I would put all my eggs in the Liga basket just
The
because you can't afford to miss a third Liguilla. Team's already in eighth right now, tied in points with
my
four
problem
other teams.
my problem with not going ham on both is if you lose one, right,
Yes,
and then you go to the Liga game and you lose that one, now you just fucked yourself.
yes,
Particularly Cardoso,
yeah.
who I think if he loses both, he's out the door. He might not be out the door after the game, but I think he's out the door after the season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't qualify to Liguilla, I could see him. It seems that when they brought in Leaño
Yeah,
for the youth, a lot of people were saying that the table's been set, and as soon as Cardoso messes up, this guy's just gonna, you know, slide in and take over take over the team.
Yeah,
So
I think they're definitely setting it up for him to take over the team. I don't know enough about him to judge him, but I mean, I think Cardoso was put in a position to fail from the beginning, and
yeah,
I think he's a limited coach. I don't think he's a good tactical coach.
He-
Um,
yeah, he hasn't been around that long. Like I think he's been at a club long enough, you know, to set something up. He was at Jaguares, man. That team was a disaster.
yeah, I
He,
mean, with um, with Toluca, he had a really good roster,
yeah,
and I mean, say what you want, but in Liga MX, having a good roster goes a long way. I mean, look at Chivas now. You added 3 players, and the team looked
yeah,
completely different.
yeah, and even then, they're not that strong. I would say I'll put him strong enough to go in like at the bottom to qualify Liguilla like in eighth, you know.
Yeah,
But I they're still to me they're not that strong and there's not that much depth in the squad.
there isn't. There isn't. There's minimal. There's like no depth in the squad. But I think that's where a good coach tactically can make up for it, and that's where I think that Cardoso lacks.
Yeah, there's
Is that
there's been
because there's been games where he just makes terrible subs. I
I was
mean,
about to go there.
I mean, not there
Locks
hasn't been
aren't,
games. Almost all the games, even the games that we've won.
his locks aren't pretty
Um,
either.
Beto sounds mad far.
he's, he's
I said his locks aren't pretty either.
what
Uh,
happened? You
His
what?
locks. His
What?
Goldilocks aren't pretty. You guys can hear me?
yeah, estás un poquito lejos.
Yeah, he,
I said
he's
his locks aren't as pretty either, so he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt like another coach would have.
well, wait, John was here briefly. Looks like he couldn't establish connection. I saw John Jaku and then he
Oh
disappeared.
yeah.
He must be celebrating that Pumas win. No, but Cardoso has been getting a lot of flack. He's been getting, and he's been questioned a lot about his cambios, and they were attacking him in one of the last pressers after the Querétaro game. They were like, "Hey, people are saying." It don't even sound like some journalist would say. They're just saying people are saying. Like, were you interviewing fans outside of the stadium? Um, but yeah, they were just on him over that. But he's I think he's very diplomatic, and I hope he takes the team to Liguilla, man. For Liguillas, it's embarrassing for a team like Chivas
It
to miss
is.
out on four. It's just no excuse there, man.
I do think Liguillas. I mean, that I think the only way he should stay is if he wins
No,
the
I agree.
championship. If he wins the championship, I just don't. I mean, like he was a great player. Nothing against him, but I just don't think he's a good coach. Like I don't, and I think he is handicapping the team. I mean, again, like we've said, the team isn't the strongest team in the league, and nor do they have the depth. But they should be at least. There's been 3 games that we should have won this season that we had a draw, and if we had won those games, we'd be in a lot better position. Even this past week, had we won, we'd be in fourth, but we
Yeah,
lost
it
and we're
would.
in eighth.
No, wait, you mean
Um,
Querétaro was a 0-0 draw?
yeah, if we had won, we would have been
Yeah,
in third, fourth.
yeah, and these next matches are gonna be quite difficult.
Yeah,
Chivas gonna go on it's gonna be a rough calendario. But I'm holding out that they could at least hold on to that eighth place.
I hope so too. I mean, Chivas in the Liguilla is big for the league all around. We bring the ratings. But I mean, just as a Chivas fan, I feel like we need Liguilla. It's been a while. Trying to answer Ron on Twitter right now, but
Chiquis, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me read what Ron is saying. What is he saying?
He says it's an excuse that the calendar never favored Liga MX to compete in Copa Sudamericana and Copa Libertadores, but Liga MX has had favorable tournaments. The problem with MLS goes far beyond calendar; it lacks coaching. I do think a team that plays no preseason and plays one regular season game and then goes to play an international tournament versus a team that's already within its season. I think there are some advantages there.
Yeah, I would agree though, but I don't see that advantage as anything changing. Like I mentioned earlier, and he brings up a good point about
South American teams, South American tournaments. I mean, it was always a thing. The South Americans try to purposely, put us at a disadvantage on purpose. I don't think that is happening here. I don't think that Mexico is trying to put MLS at a disadvantage. I just think that because of the Mexican league and the way it's structured, and the MLS league and the way it's structured, it's always going to put one of them at a disadvantage. And for right now, it's MLS. Besides Mexico being the powerhouse financially, it puts MLS at a disadvantage. But I don't think they're purposely going out of their way to do it the way that the South American tournaments were doing it.
Because U.S. is part of CONCACAF, Mexico is not part of CONMEBOL.
Yeah,
but I was going towards his lack of coaching, and I think Joel brought it up as well. The salary cap. I think MLS just is not on the level of coaching. It's not on the level of homegrown American players, not even foreign players. Although they've improved recently, the quality and the depth is still not there as it was years ago. So they're not going to get these results. Even if, like I said, even if the schedules were changed or in reverse, I think Liga MX still dominates and still ends up pulling through. Dominates because there's always dangerous games and some teams will lose. But
I definitely agree. I think the coaching isn't there yet, but I think it's getting there for MLS. Obviously, Mexico has advantage there because we've just been a league that's been, more successful for longer. But I do think that MLS is getting there with the new coaches that they're bringing in.
Yeah, well, the Mexico's national team coach
came from MLS.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't made there, but I mean, the fact that they landed someone like Tata, it just says how a lot of the teams are working that angle now.
No, I mean, I do think MLS is going in the right direction. They're not there yet. Will they ever catch up? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. At least not to the level where it's consistent the way Mexico has been doing it. Where you say that they are the dominant league, but I think they're definitely working towards that.
The only way I see MLS bypassing and becoming the dominant league is if no Americans are on their lineup. If they have no, they're going to have to struggle and get no type of foreigner rule or anything like that, because they're going to have 11 foreigners on the field for them to, and the bench for them to even compete.
I think they're starting to pull more of the foreigners from South America.
Yeah, that's what they're going to need.
And
like PT.
Yeah, and I mean PT's huge. Like that they got him from River Plate, and he didn't go to a Mexican team or Europe. And I think they're starting to notice that. They're starting to notice that, you know what, getting the European guy isn't what we should be doing. We should be getting the South American guy who we can get for cheap, and it's going to be talented, and maybe then they make the jump elsewhere. The same thing that Mexico does. I think they're heading in the right direction. MLS.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they got their restrictions, salary cap, and all that. So it's just gonna be slow. It's been slow for them, but I think leading into the World Cup that the U.S. will host, I think if that builds more interest in the league and more momentum, I think then you could see where they they widen the salary cap and things like that. It's.
Yeah, I think
I
as
think no, with the TV they've been lacking because a lot of their stadiums,
or packed.
with a lot of their teams they have good attendance, but what they've been lacking is a proper TV deal.
To me, it just their backwards um, schedule is part of what doesn't help the TV stuff. Along with the fact that American commentators are just boring. Uh, but
But to the average American, soccer is boring. So that's I think the root of everything.
but you'd be surprised. I mean, like when I lived in Orlando, it was huge. I think certain markets like the South apparently does very well for MLS. Uh, you would think Florida is a football country, but Orlando City always packs it out. Atlanta United always packs it out. I think it's just certain markets where they just do better in those markets. I mean, here in New York, Red Bull Arena, I don't think it's ever filled up, and it's one of the nicer stadiums I've ever been to. Um, New York City, New York City plays in a baseball stadium, so that's terrible. I refuse
Yeah,
to go there. I refuse to go there. Like nobody wants to watch soccer in a baseball stadium. But you look at LAFC, they pack it out. Uh, Galaxy does a good job packing it out. I feel like certain pockets of the country are very much into the MLS movement. Maybe not so much watching it on TV, but definitely attending the arena and watching the games.
Yeah, there's a certain culture that I think that's growing.
no,
That
yeah, well, that's why the World Cup could be very important. It helps build more awareness for the sport, uh, just more excitement. Just even with Mexico, how much it helped hosting two World Cups in a short amount of time, 1970, 86. So I do think having another World Cup, especially now with the league more established and they're going to be at what 32 teams, I think, MLS by the time the World Cup is hosted here. So I do think that could well, I mean, I think they're betting on that to help improve the league.
Yeah, no, I think the World Cup is definitely going to be a big help. Just for
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
because you're getting a whole generation now that's kind of grown up on the MLS teams, and
Yeah,
especially if you live in those towns, like that's the team that you root for. Like you're fine. Your MLS is finally getting what like Liga MX has always had, which is like generational fandom.
yeah, yes, and but also I think it's also going to be important for the U.S. to do good. You know, they don't have to win it, but if they could get pretty far up there, quinto partido, semifinals, something like that, I think
Uh,
that would help
just
immensely.
just the talk of Quinto Partido gives me a headache.
I don't know. Mexico will get quinto partido once we get to that 2018 World Cup, man. They'll be playing India or
It's crazy.
Pakistan or some team like that.
It's crazy. The World Cup feels like it was so long ago, and
Yeah,
it was literally like 7 months ago. No, a little bit
7 months.
more. No, a little bit
Yeah,
more, maybe.
yeah, I don't even feel like seven. Yeah,
No, I mean it was what July, so maybe like 9 months, but still, it feels like it was forever ago. I mean, Osorio's already been fired twice.
he did, man. He did. That's wow.
Wasn't he like
JCL.
Wasn't he bribing? Wasn't he bribing players over at in Paraguay or something like that?
No, I think what it I think what it was that one of the big promoters over there just never wanted him, and he started like he started this whole campaign against him, and anything he did, it was just negative. So I think he went to see his son play in Argentina, uh, and then they were just putting all this stuff about him, and I think he was like, "Ah, man, f this," and he threw in the towel. I mean, he's got that FMF money, man. I think he left with like 2 million or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going next, but I can see him coming to MLS actually.
Yeah, coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. No, I mean, I did hear something along the lines of the bribes, but that could have just been like the whole campaign that was against him.
Yeah, I heard that he was like they were paying players to play or something like that. I don't know. It's funny because I had just finished watching Cuervos, and that takes place in Cuervos. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it is true. Damn.
I haven't seen Cuervos.
What?
I haven't seen Cuervos, and I haven't seen GOT, man.
Wait, you
Uh,
you
Am
get
I?
out,
Am I?
Chickies,
Am
get
I?
out.
Am I?
yeah.
Should
Are
I
you
exit?
living?
Should
Are you living under a rock? Is that
Yeah, I'm purposely
stop
doing
wrestling? Stop wrestling with men and get in front of the television.
it.
Stop rolling around with men.
Yes. Stop rubbing your ears together.
Oh
And
man, yeah, lucky Ron isn't here to make
You-
his crude comment. So.
I actually, you know what? I was very hesitant on Cuervos, and I finally gave it a chance, and it was really good. It was really good, and they definitely. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they make that show in Mexico with how many shots they take at the league and at the government. Because I mean, they talk about the government. They talk about government corruption. They talk about the league corruption. They talk about Pacto de Caballeros a lot. They make fun of like the whole Televisa, TV Azteca, um, whole debacle with the TV rights for the World Cup. Like when Pachuca had brought in another um, TV provider to take over the rights, and last minute, like Chivas backed Televisa or shit like that. Like they bring all that stuff is brought up. They bring up the players that go to Europe and then come back because they want to be on the national team, stuff like that. So I think it's a really good show with a little bit of comedy. And then Got's amazing. I
Uh-huh.
can't believe you don't watch Got.
I'm
Well,
watching. I'm watching. Grey's Anatomy.
I mean, Grey's Anatomy is another good show too. I could probably do an open heart surgery because I've watched 12 seasons. But no,
I'm on season 1.
God is amazing. Oh man, wait till you get season 4. You're definitely gonna cry in season 4.
We'll see.
Wait, are you just like choosing not to see it, or you just never got around to it?
No, I don't have a real interest in seeing it.
Are you not into sci-fi?
Yeah, I mean, I am, but I just haven't been pushed. Like I haven't seen something like, oh, let me go check it out. Nothing like I'm not trying to what do you call it? Not watch it or anything. But.
You ever watch Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you enjoy Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I like the Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is good.
Oh, you would enjoy Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I would. But Chiquis, like Club de Cuervos will say, if you're Cantina, man, it's like mandatory watching. It's like when it's you could. It's funny how much shots they took at the league, and they they made fun of a lot of stuff early on in the first seasons. They made fun of like Chivas and Querétaro and stuff like that, and you see the similarities.
Yeah, you definitely see you're definitely like, oh, this is like when like Pulido left to Europe, or this is like Like I
When
said,
when Ronaldinho, you know that the
yeah, when he
Ronaldinho
came,
when Querétaro brought in Ronaldinho and they have the
because
same where they bring Aitor, who was
yeah,
also from Barcelona. That was just funny.
nah, it's a good show, guys. I'm gonna have to drop though because it's
All right,
late
man.
on the west on the East Coast, and I have to stay up late tomorrow to watch the Clasico, and I'm gonna be tired by the
Oh
time
man, that's right.
Thursday. By the time Thursday
That's
rolls
right.
around, yeah, they're playing at 11.
That's crazy
11,
late.
11 at
East
night.
11 at night East Coast time.
With Guadalajara would be what, like 7 or 8?
It'll probably be eight,
9,
8 or 9,
9 o'clock. I think it's 9
Okay.
because they don't change shower
Hey,
until.
hey, Rigo,
Yeah.
just drink Chiva Cola, man. That will keep you up.
Do they still make it? the Chivacuis. It's like the Chernobyl
I'm pretty. I'm
drink.
pretty sure Rigo's got a lifetime supply over there in New York in his fridge. So
I wish I mean I think I have a few left over
It's,
from when they first came out.
it's like illegal. It had plomo, dude.
yeah,
It has clenbuterol, dude. He was getting all like all yoked up, all buff. Doesn't
no
No.
know
wonder
why.
no
He's
wonder
getting,
he's putting up career numbers at 38. You know.
he's like, I'm so energized.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, man. Good having
All right.
you again,
Alrighty.
man.
Go on.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be back soon. Later.
All
What's
right,
up, bro?
later.
Peace.
Hey, isn't there 3 Chivas games, 3 Clásicos going on?
3.
Don't
What
we
do
have
you
a
mean?
Copa? Isn't Copa MX ida y vuelta?
Yeah, 3. It'll be 3 in total. You're right.
Okay. And the Clásico in Liga is when? This weekend?
Yes, sir.
Oh shoot! So in 2 weeks, there's 3 games. There's 3 Clásicos.
Back
Not
to
bad.
back to back.
Not bad.
Yes, just what the cup needed. We've been talking about how the Copa MX has been gaining momentum. You know, teams didn't care much for it, but this, with games like this, it's becoming more attractive.
I think Chivas winning it with under Almeida kind of raised the profile a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, we with a doblete. I think
Yeah.
it raised the level. And hello.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You cut off, dude.
Okay. No. Yeah, I agree. I think not just Chivas winning it, but the doblete, and then just how the fans were celebrating it. Because it,
Did you run out to Huntington Park, Jolie?
I didn't.
So wave your Chivas flag and honk
No, I
and
didn't. I
flip some cars up.
I, fl- I wanted to a police cruiser.
By the way, how's it going,
Bro.
guys?
It, it's it's going good, profe. You've been MIA.
Yeah, man.
I heard you've been taking Zumba classes, and that's why you haven't been
I've been what?
available for the pod. You've been taking Zumba classes. You,
No,
that's what we heard, man. He's like, profe
I
does
know.
Zumba.
No, man.
He
The
he does
show
hot
is
Zumba, like hot
you know
yoga, but it's
in the leotard, right?
yeah, sweaty and oh.
No, man. It's just the show starts. I'm actually my practice finishes or starts right when the show starts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So and if I stay late, I have to like addressing something with a parent or so on I don't have a chance to jump on. I got a
Pro,
few minutes.
yeah, profe, and me, we might be going to San Diego to watch the Mexico game. We applied. When did you apply, Profe?
I applied today.
Yeah, same here.
You too?
Same
Yeah.
here.
Hopefully.
We're
How long does it
taking
take
the
to? How long does it take to hear back?
couple days, depends. Usually like 4 days. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, we might be doing the road trip. Profe, we had gone to Vegas. When was that? Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, man. That was at the height of the
The 1v1?
the yeah. What? No. What? 1v1. Oh, you and John Arnold? No. My bad. I'm talking about the Juan Cambios Osorio.
When it was.
It was at the peak of his power, you know.
It was at the peak of it. But yeah, we're hoping to go and catch up with some of the other guys that are gonna be there. Um, they'll meet up with the Pasión crew and some of the other guys from the competencia. We saw Tom, uh, Profe's favorite, John,
Oh, dude.
and
You know what? When we were in Vegas, we saw Tom. He was pretty lights out, man. Maybe this is inside info I should reveal.
dos por chismoso, John,
Yeah,
Profe.
tres
We're
por
gonna give you dos por
chismoso.
chismoso.
Tres por you left for like 20 minutes with John Arnold, but you guys went MIA for a little bit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, Jolie, we did the Rose Bowl 2 game right before the despedida, right? The three.
We did the what?
Remember we went to wasn't it the Rose Bowl? Or what game did we go to in yeah, it was the Rose Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were at the Rose Bowl. I had to
Yeah.
tweet and Profe was giving me a hard time for not analyzing the game. He's like, "You're not analyzing the game." And I was like, "What? I have to be making some clever tweets here." And it takes from keeping an eye on the players. I remember that. I remember that day, Profe. I remember
Remember
getting
Layun?
scolded.
I think it was Layun that went off, dude, that day, right?
He went off?
Yeah, I mean, he scored he had a good game that day.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember who played. I'll be honest. I was there for the chicken tendies, and I had to make some tweets, and I wasn't even paying attention.
We were
But,
late for this. We were late for the lunch they served there. That's what I
oh, that
remember.
was that one. Yeah, so yeah, I
Yeah,
missed out.
yeah,
God
we missed
damn
out on
it.
the food. I think we got like some sodas or something, you know.
Yeah, it's warm sodas. Hopefully this doesn't happen again, Profe. It's much further now. It's
No,
a much
well,
further.
we gotta leave early, man. If you don't leave before midday, uh, you know, we won't
You
make it. We gotta leave like at noon, the latest.
okay? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Is Ronaldo de Luna, Beto, or John meeting us up there, or Rigo?
No, none of them, man.
What about Dan? Dan Preciado. That's right in his backyard, man. You
It
saw that
is,
guy.
but he's been MIA too. He's also a
Oh,
coach. He also coaching youth.
he's a profe. Yeah, he's a profe now. That's
But
why he.
I think he's at the like the under 10 level or something like that.
No, yeah, under six.
He's
Under
he's like
six.
that video. Did you see that video where it's a kid's dad and he's standing by the porteria and they're attacking? You know, the other team is coming to attack, and his kid is like looking off into the crowd, and they shoot at goal, and the dad pushes the kid so he could do the save. You
Nah,
you guys
I
didn't
don't
see
know.
that? It's like a little kid.
Maybe I saw back.
He gives him a shove. I might have to
Yeah.
link it up. He gives him a shove, and the kid goes flying, and he actually blocks the ball, but it bounces off of him, and then some other kid scores.
Yes.
I think so. Then there's the one of that kid blasting the ball into all the players' faces.
Oh, that was from the Profe School of Football,
Exactly, man.
from the School of Defending. Yeah, well, we've been here quite a while, man. You want to give any? Profe he always comes at closing time. Siempre llega a barrer. We,
If I'm not there
in,
to play the Vicente Fernandez,
nah.
volver,
Oh, yeah,
then it's not
yeah,
a
the
party.
close.
I
But
gotta close it down.
any thoughts on the? And we forgot to ask Rigo this. But any thoughts on the call up on Tata's first list or anything you're looking forward to from these two games against Chile and Paraguay?
Well, yeah, the first thing that surprised me was seeing Gallito Vasquez on the list because there was like kind of a bit of a debate, amongst the pundits whether Gallito was worth calling under Osorio. Remember that he didn't fit the Juan Carlos Osorio's
Yeah.
system, which Tata Martino he's gonna implement. To me it made sense to include a very high energy player in Gallito who was having a great season. So I'm glad to see him back, and I'm glad to and hopefully he vindicates himself and he shows why he should have been called up previously. And I think isn't John on record saying, "Hey, Gallito outplayed some pretty high-profile guys in Brazil, right?"
Yes.
Uh, you
Croatia.
know, yeah, the Croatia game especially.
Rakitic and Modric.
Yeah,
The big.
and if he would have been, and he was suspended for the Netherlands game, so had he not been suspended, otro gallo les cantara, right?
Yeah, that could have very well been the case. I mean, Mexico was even leading at one point, and
Yeah,
he's one of those players that would have made a big difference.
yeah. I'm expecting the Timo Roll under Tata to kick it off well. I mean, Paraguay is no joke, but it's funny that Juan Carlos Osorio fell on his own sword and resigned rather than face an ass whooping. You know.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was disappointed because I wanted. It was one of the matches I was looking forward to. I wanted to see Mexico play against JCO, and that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that would have been a fun game to see under JCO because Paraguay is not a shabby national team. They're a tough team, but Mexico plays them well, so you know that's good. And then what? The next game is Chile in Santa Clara.
Yes.
Did you apply for that game? I thought about applying, but
No, I didn't.
it doesn't fit my schedule really.
And it's only a few days later, like 4 days later.
Yeah, it's on a Tuesday, so it's kind of it's like a quick turnaround, and I'm pretty much I'm training, dude. It's hard to me to take off that day, but I might. I think there's a game in June in Texas, right? Is that Beto?
Yeah, there's in Dallas. I'm not going to the. I don't think I'll make it to that one, but I'm trying to go to the Atlanta one. I actually got approved for it already.
I'm gonna be
Oh,
traveling and making the big
My brother lives in Atlanta,
yeah,
so I'm gonna try to go there.
double. So yeah, two birds, one stone, huh?
Yeah, I have a
nice.
free room to stay.
All right. Yeah, I was in Mexico last week, guys. I made like
Are you
an
visiting
amazing.
Pachuca again?
No. I didn't go to. I went to Polanco. Well, I mean, I wasn't there
Okay.
to go to Polanco, but I went to this museum. I had like a taxi driver. He was kind of like my taxi driver slash tour guide, and so he told me about this museum. It's pretty crazy, and it's right like I guess it's right at the edge of Polanco, which is supposed to be like the Beverly Hills of Mexico City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Carlos Slim owns it. It's called Sumaya. But I was actually there, guys, on like a religious pilgrimage. I went to you know, with respect to everybody's religions. I want, but I was there for religious purpose. So it was interesting, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool, man.
just to mention to you guys, the minute I walked out of the church, I heard lightning and I saw, I heard thunder and I saw lightning. So I don't know what was up
You
with
don't
that.
know.
Yeah, I don't know if I was
God
getting
dang.
struck or if it was like,
Like,
right. It was either of like I'm gonna kick your ass some more, or it was like a
is it,
forgiveness. Okay, you
is,
you know.
is it Prophet
Uh,
worshiping the Aztec gods?
no.
Maybe you didn't do the right sacrifice way.
Yeah, maybe I should have brought something for Tlaloc, the rain god.
uh,
Yeah, man, it was crazy. It was cool. It was yeah, but that's where I was, guys. And actually, right before I had a tournament in Vegas, you guys didn't cover it, man. What's up?
oh shoot, I'm in Vegas
you,
right now,
you
man.
didn't tell us, man. We didn't even know.
Oh shit.
You need to promote it better.
Yeah, man, I suck at promoting.
Yeah, I'll be in Mexico City in April, and I'll be going to a Pumas Cruz Azul game in the Azteca, so we'll see how empty the stadium really is.
Is it pretty empty?
Yeah, for Cruz Azul, they haven't been doing good, especially in that huge stadium.
Yeah, the Cruz Azul. Yeah, the fans have abandoned it a bit. They've been
Yeah.
disappointed.
What's up with those guys? Are they gonna fire? What's his face?
Caixinha,
China.
yeah. He's been
What?
on the ropes.
What's up with the golden boy Pelais, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. He seems to have taken a back seat this season. Hasn't been in the forefront as much. So I don't know what's going on. I've heard some rumors that he wasn't getting along with El Billy Alvarez. Um, but who knows, man? Who knows what's going on over there? You know, who knows what's truly going on? One thing to keep in mind: he did not he did not choose Caixinha. That coach was already there when he arrived, so that could be, you know, maybe they don't get along anymore. I know one of the last games. I don't know the reason because I didn't see it, but the one before Atlas, when they were at home, that he wasn't, that he would always see the games with the squad in the box with the coach, and that in one of those last games he was not there. He was up there with the owners and stuff. So who knows if he had a falling out with Caixinha, where the Portuguese must have been like, hey, step off, I got this.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I watched some of the Liga MX games this weekend. I saw a little bit of the Pumas when they were getting their ass handed to them, and they came back. Right when I started watching, they came back. So Beto and John, if you're listening, I'll accept gift certificates. And I'll keep watching because
All right.
I guess I'm like a lucky charm for them.
Did you watch? You didn't watch them play Dorados though, did you?
Fuck, who were they playing? No, I saw them this weekend, dude. They were losing like 3-0 or 2-0, and they came back
Yeah,
and they
but
tied it.
they played Dorados just now. They beat them 3-0 in Copa MX.
Who won?
Pumas.
Oh, see, I got the trend started for you guys. They turned it around under my watch. No, I was actually I just finished practice, so I jumped on as soon as I was able to jump on and talk to you guys a little bit. So they're gonna advance.
Bueno pues, chavos, I have to get going.
All
Ya
right,
me
Julie.
voy porque me pegan.
We will close the podcast then. Thanks for coming on, Joel.
All right.
And Juan.
Yeah, awesome, man. Glad
We'll
to be
talk to
back
everybody
after.
there.
Glad to be back after a big MIA. Back to another
Yeah,
6 months off. Just kidding.
Hey, we might well, I don't know. It might be good to maybe go on tomorrow again, maybe after the
Oh, well, after or during?
or during whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do during.
I'll
See,
be on the field. I'll be on the field, but if I
you
can make it, I'll try to make it.
you're gonna miss the game, Profe. Like,
I'm gonna. Yeah,
shouldn't it be mandatory watching for your kids? Like, hey, you guys have
Gotta
to
watch.
watch this game and learn,
We gotta watch
you
some
know,
film.
learn when to dive and stuff like that.
you know,
See what?
believe it or not, these guys are going are 11. They're 10 going on 11, and some are already 11 going on 12. I do show them film, but of themselves right now.
Oh,
They're
cool.
yeah. But no, Jolie, I don't because Cardoxo, his style doesn't mesh with me.
Oh,
I was actually
no.
watching. I know we're done, but I just quick thought. I was watching the Luca play, and they got some promise. I saw some passing combinations.
You mean
They
now
needed
with
to make
Bigoton,
with
under
Bigotes.
Bigoton? Yeah.
Yeah, I think one more year under Bigoton, him implementing his system. There's some potential there, but they were really getting killed on the wings. Um,
Ouch.
but I think with some time he can implement that if he can survive this season.
Yes, I'm sure he will. Because I'm sure he will. He can do worse than what the team was doing
Under
with,
Cristante, huh?
with Hernan.
And actually, I was thinking while I was watching them that if they wanted immediate results, they should have gone with like a Chepo. I think he would have stepped in and kind of organized the defense better, and just
That is
close
his
up the
sport.
holes. Hmm?
That is his sport. Defense is one of his best,
Yeah, that's the. Oh yeah,
strengths.
I'm sorry, his forte, my friend,
Yes.
is a French. It's a French word.
Es que no fui a la escuela, güey.
No, forte, wait, forte.
Uy.
or say it in Spanish, es su fuerte.
Yeah, that's why I was in between.
Yeah, you
That's in
threw. I was
between,
like,
way.
wait a minute, what the fuck is Jolie saying? Oh, excuse my language. We don't cuss, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
The
dude,
earmuffs.
I was gonna bring out my dictionary. ¿Qué dice? A ver, ¿qué dice? ¿Son Reeboks o son Nikes?
Yeah, but see, you understood. You
No,
knew that guy was talking about the rhythm of the night.
something.
That was funny, man. I wonder
Yeah.
if it was scripted
No,
or
I
if
don't
it's
think.
actual call-in. So for those that don't know, there's a clip of it's like a Latin America a radio call-in, and some guy calls in and he's asking for a song, and he's like, "Do you guys have the song that says son Reeboks or son Nike?" And he has to say it like 5 times until the one of the radio hosts uh, finally knows what he's talking about.
You gotta find it and play it next time.
Yeah, so
Find
we're
the
the
clip.
hey, but that's making fun of me, way.
well,
you
well,
you can play it when I'm not there, way.
well, yeah.
No más
Come
porque
on, dude.
soy
You're
ESL.
in the joke. You're in on the joke. It's okay.
Oh,
Oh,
god dang.
careful, careful, careful.
Eso me pasa por no irme, sí, I stay and,
La carrilla ya
y
empezó, güey.
abusan. Sí, güey, ya. No, I have to get going now. Ahora sí, chavos.
All right.
Tomorrow, hopefully, we could continue this. If not, there'll be another classic or another game. All right,
All right,
late.
then. All right. See you guys later.
All right. Good night, guys.